Man, y'all know the face, y'all know the name, y'all tuned into the world's realest podcast. Look at me, I'm all flooded. I got a beautiful woman here with me, someone that I know for a long time. I don't know if we're gonna do a little talking cheap or we're gonna do a little 51st dates. We might have to do a mixture of both, but we got somebody really special on the spot, and y'all know I don't introduce my guests, so guests, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Briana Mulzac. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I am the CEO and founder of Mulzac Rentals and Mulzac Motor Group.
This is money. This is Miss Money team right here. I ain't gonna lie. I think you might be the queen of Brooklyn.
That's gracious of you to say.
I think you are probably like one of the most connected people I know in Brooklyn. And you've done a lot of different things.
I have. So
where would you like to start? You want to start in the beginning? We can start in the beginning.
Yeah, we could start in the beginning. So I mean, my journey has been, just a roller coaster. I graduated from Hampton University, and then, once I graduated, I continued on the path of music. When I was in college, I was working at record labels, Warner Music, Bad Boy, Atlantic Records. I was Christian Combs' assistant, things of that nature. And then once I graduated, I actually started to produce and make music, and was a full-blown artist signed to a label that I started with my friends. And that was like a real section of my life that was just very music and entertainment focused and stuff like that. But going on that journey really opened my eyes that music wasn't really my, I want to say, passion or calling in that sense. I just wanted to really do something more sustainable and something that I can see longevity and growth with. Like if I didn't see myself being the next Beyonce, I'm like, what can I be the next Beyonce in? And I just really wanted to, dive into different things and see where my next calling was. And so since then I had a whole bunch of little odd jobs in between of graduating and leaving the label and trying to figure out my next steps. I'm just like everyone else. I've had to pivot and work at Planet Fitness and GNC and up until all these other places, until even was a waitress for a couple years until I was able to start my first Airbnb property and start with my first Turo car. And so from there, that's when I really started to build what I do and who I am and stuff like that.
That's so dope. So let's talk about, obviously, an HBCU grad. So shout out to all the HBCU grads. That's big. Hampton. How has Hampton impacted your development?
It really, I would say, just one with my network of people. And, just being able to be at HBCU, connecting with other Black professionals and just on the come up with so many other great people at Hampton. And, just it being an opportunity for me to get away from New York, step out of my comfort zone of Brooklyn, really grow and develop on my own in a whole new state environment. It really played a part in, just my development. And I was working a lot when I was in college, so I was doing internships and stuff like that. So hardly on campus sometimes because I'm working BET Awards, that awards, and I was very vocal with my teachers and stuff like that, and they knew on campus, I was just one of them ones, to be real.
No, this is facts.
And they really worked around my schedule and stuff like that. And so I really thank Hampton for working with me and being a part of my development and helping me, just continue to flourish where I was trying to grow.
And you worked at a lot of labels. You named them all.
Yes.
What was that like? What was that time like for you?
That was an amazing time for me. I was able to just see the back end of what was going on in the music industry, just being from the consumer standpoint to actually being in the building and the summer Cardi B popped 2017. I was working with Deani Harper. I was in the building when they played Bodak Yellow, and I'm at my desk oh, this song is fire. Who is this? And then 2 weeks later, the label drops the song, and just to see those artists and the journey behind the scenes and being able to work with such great people and the people that are pushing some of the biggest artists today. I guess it was just a great learning experience, seeing how things work and how marketing and promotions and just a team really works to bring something to life and to really build a career for someone.
Were you doing PR at that time too?
I was doing PR and marketing. Yeah, that was my main, PR and marketing.
Okay. So then you also worked with Christian Combs.
Yes.
How was that experience?
That was an amazing experience as well. I really enjoyed that job because it was spontaneous. We had to fly to LA, then we had to fly to Miami or Vegas for Soul Train Awards. It was so many different things, and just being able to work with him and be his personal assistant at that time. He was so much younger, so it was definitely gave babysitting at the time, even though I was only about 3 years older than him per se, but still it was a great opportunity, and I was able to see a whole different lifestyle, especially with who his family is and stuff like that. So it was an eye opener, and I learned so much.
So with everything happening with Diddy, I don't want to say were you surprised, but did you what's your take on that whole thing?
Yeah, I was definitely shocked by, everything that hit the news and stuff like that. I didn't work with Diddy one-on-one, or I wasn't around Diddy like that. My focus and my job was to assist Christian Combs. So of course Diddy was around, and you would see him pop in and certain things like that, but I really had no close interactions or, relationship with him like that. So I didn't see anything that, people are talking about, but my focus was just working with Christian Combs.
Okay. And what made you want to become an entrepreneur? What was your earliest entrepreneurial journey?
My earliest entrepreneur journey, I was always creating LLCs and little businesses and stuff like that. I was creating sea moss concoctions, like mango sea moss, stuff like that. I was really into the creative aspect of it. It was a health product, and I also really liked the creating the bottles and stuff like that. What else did I start? I was doing PR, so Ka Spence, who's one of a huge makeup artists in Hollywood today. I was his PR. Probably back in 2016. So I had a PR company, then I tried to do CMOS, and there's a whole bunch of other little things that I tried to start. Can't even remember it. But it was just always in me. It was always in me. And even though I was doing everything from the music and entertainment, I have in my notes, from 2017, I wanted to start a rentals business, homes and cars. That was always my just on the back burner. Whatever money I made in music, whatever money I made from anything, I wanted it to go into real estate or cars or something of that nature. So the entrepreneurship bug was always there.
So why real estate and cars?
Real estate and cars, because real estate, for one, my grandfather, he came to New York, and he, didn't have a lot at that time, and properties were so cheap, and he was really getting a lot of properties for his time. And he kind of set the foundation for, our family and stuff like that. So when my dad was older and stuff like that, my dad started helping my grandfather with the properties that my grandfather had acquired 40 years prior and stuff like that. And it was just real estate was something that was embedded in my family. And I just felt like it was, pass the baton kind of thing. I didn't know much about it. I just saw my parents and my grandfather do what they do, but I just knew that I wanted to be able to carry that baton and turn it into something bigger and better eventually someday. So that's pretty much how I was able to find a footing with real estate.
And what has your real estate journey been like now with Mulzac rentals? I'm sorry.
It's been a journey. So I haven't physically purchased any property or anything of that nature me yet. Shout out to my sister, my older sister, because she has. But I've been finding out ways to utilize the properties and help my family as far as I can come in and be the tenant, and you're getting monthly income off of me, but I'm also doubling back and charging short-term and doing short-term rentals. So I've been an asset to not only my family, I've been able to grow and learn and really just try to utilize the assets at hand and, grow on it. And then eventually I will buy something. But that's pretty much, where I've got my footing.
And you have rentals in different locations?
Yes, in New York and Scottsdale, Arizona.
What made you want to choose Scottsdale, Arizona?
So with Scottsdale, I saw that there's a very high peak season in Scottsdale. I was just putting up like fake listings on Airbnb. I wanted to see what markets would have the most traction. And I got the most inquiries. And when I did Scottsdale at the time, and I posted it during peak season, people were inquiring to stay there for, $12,000 a month. Companies who are reaching out to house their workers who are coming in town to do work, they had these huge budgets, and I'm like trying to negotiate with the landlord, like, hey, I would love to rent your place for however much you're asking for. But I knew on the back end somebody was willing to pay like $12,000 for the month, and so that was my first introduction to Scottsdale. Then I did more research through AirDNA, just looking more into the market. And then, I eventually like sealed the deal with the landlord and became his permanent tenant, and been kind of running operations since then. So.
And how has the business been with Scottsdale, Arizona? Like, how have you been able to manage that? Like, is the number still that high, and you're able to do this hands-free from New York?
So yes, was able to do it hands-free. We have our on-ground team of handymen, even some TaskRabbit workers, and cleaning team. Those are essential. And the biggest thing that I learned with finding properties in other states is that you really have to learn the market 365 days of the year. I was basing Scottsdale off of their peak season, and I learned the hard way. So Scottsdale, Arizona, literally their peak season is between September through March, and so the dry season is very dry, like drier than the weather that's there, drier than their desert. So I want to say May through August has been super slow, and you're not seeing the same numbers that you see during peak season. But with a lot of information and people that I speak to who are still in the Arizona market, the peak season makes up for the dry season. So depending on let's say my rent there is $3,200 a month. Like I said, if you're having peak season for a solid 6-7 months and still able to bring in 10 to 12, you're still able to offset. But it is the biggest lesson I've learned. I do want to have more properties in year-round seasonal places. So yeah.
Yeah, I've also been looking at different properties, so we definitely can talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about Airbnbs in New York. What made you want to get into Airbnbs in New York?
Yeah, so in New York, New York is just a staple city, and I knew that there's a lot of traction, a lot of tourism going on in New York, and my family, we were doing Airbnb. We were one of the first people to start Airbnb as well, and starting in, New York in 2010, where there was only probably like 30 people doing Airbnb. Fast forward to, 2019 and then 2020 with the crash and stuff like that. With COVID, I was basically a part of the cleaning crew for my parents when they had their Airbnb business. And I always wanted to know like how I can have my own and start my own. And just seeing the success of what New York can do, I really wanted to dive in and have my own Airbnb properties. So fast forward to 2022 is when I started working on my first property and been growing since then.
Very dope. So what are some things you've learned about Airbnb and how to be successful in Airbnb thus far?
I would say some of the keys to success is just being overall customer service. You're dealing with people from all walks of life, all different countries. Customer service, the homes that you're choosing, the amenities that you're providing in the home as well. Those are things that people don't overlook, from the way you communicate, the way you address their needs, problems, anything of that nature, and whatever you're offering in the home to make it different or just make it more inviting and a comfortable stay. Those are some of the biggest things that I see that can make or break somebody's experience. So.
Okay. Have you had any negative experiences with Airbnb thus far?
Honestly, no, I haven't. I haven't had any negative experiences. I think I've gone through, with every homeowner or property manager, just dealing with properties, things break down, stuff like that, and kind of just having to troubleshoot, or God forbid somebody's getting locked out late at night and having to go fix that problem at 3 a.m. Oh, that's actually one. One of our properties, we had some of our tenants who were locked out because our key coded system had failed and died and stuff like that. But those are like little things, but nothing I want to say outlandish or crazy. Not yet though. The more properties, they're gonna experience more things. So I just know it's eventually.
How many properties are under the Mulzac Rentals current umbrella portfolio?
4 properties and 11 listings, and that's under, yes, me personally. So not like my siblings and stuff like that. For me personally, 4 properties and 11 listings. So
That's fire. So how does one get properties in New York?
in New York, there's a couple ways. You either can do rental arbitrage, where you are reaching out to landlords and you're, securing a 6 to 12 month lease with them, and you're paying them like a regular tenant, but you have the right or the permission to sublease and do short-term rentals and rent to other people on a short-term basis. Or you can use where you lay your own head. If you have if you have a home that's 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, then you want to rent out the other rooms and make extra income, you can start with literally what you have as well. And then the last thing would be if you're buying property. But thing about buying property is that you want to make sure that the place that you're buying property has Airbnb rules and regulations that are in favor, because I know some people who went out and bought property in New York and then found out that there's rules and regulations with Airbnb, and now they're kind of like, wait, I literally bought this property because of this. So a lot of research needs to be, go into it before making any big moves like that.
Most definitely. And you also have the cars.
Yes.
What made you want to get into cars?
Anything with rentals, if I could rent the seat you're sitting in, like everything with rentals.
So you queen rentals?
Yes, I want to do all the rentals, whether it be skis, this, that, and a third, anything. But I saw Turo as an opportunity back in 2021. I saw Turo as an opportunity because it was the first time I took a Turo car when I was in Los Angeles. I had booked one when I was in LA. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, the person just gave me the keys and I'm on my way. And I really wanted to see, like, this is the first start of something new. I knew my family got into Airbnb when it first started, so I wanted to do something different and be ahead of the game too as well. So really with the cars, I was just like, I think this is another avenue, and like renting the cars and Turo is basically like the Airbnb for cars. So I really wanted to explore it more and start building on it.
What was the first car that you acquired for your fleet?
The first car was a Chevy Sonic, a 2015 Chevy Sonic, which was my personal car. It was my personal car that I had in college. And I was like, if I'm going to try Turo, let me try it out with my own car that it's already here. I don't have to go out my way to buy a car or something like that. I can just see how it works. I already had that car for about 4 or 5 years. And I basically put something that I already had in possession to work for me. And that was my first test car, I would say.
And how did it go?
It went amazing. I was super nervous on the first trip when the car went out, but the guests came back with the car in one piece. They left a great review. I started to do it more and more with that car. And for the first year, I started Turo in 2022, in October of 2022. And then first year I kept going, and then I started to expand after that. In June of 2020, was it May? I think May of 2023, my best friend, she had a Audi Q3 2017, and I told her, hey, I'm renting out these cars. I would love to add your cars to my fleet if you want to just make some extra money. And so that was my first, what we call OPC, which is other people's cars. Like how in banking they have OPM, other people's money. And so basically utilizing other people's cars to build my fleet. And that was she was the first person that I worked with, and I was sending her monthly payments. She was seeing how well the car was doing, and then that was my introduction to Audis as well. I was like, okay, I have an economy car, Chevy. She introduced me to the Audis, which is a nice mid-tier vehicle, and then I was seeing, okay, how the Audi's producing, how the economy's car is producing, and that was like my playground for there.
Do you lease cars, or like have you only been using like other people's cars?
So I've financed cars. I haven't leased yet, but I can get more into how people could acquire cars. I went out my way to get my first finance car. I got that car in November of last year or October of last year, if I'm not mistaken. And that's an Audi Q3 2021. And that was the first car that I went out to, get a actual finance vehicle. But I haven't done leasing. For people who want to get leasing. It is an option. However, there are different stipulations with leasing because there's a certain amount of mileage that you need to have on those cars. Unless you're, getting a high mileage lease, where you can guarantee, an extra 20 or 30,000 miles on your contract. But yeah, that's.
So with financing, there's no mileage cap that you can put on the car?
No, because you're buying to own the car. So however many miles on it is solely up to you. So once that car is paid off, it's yours. And that's the difference with leasing and financing. Leasing, you have to be a little bit more cognizant of how you are working with the car and the mileage. And with financing, it's you're paying it monthly to eventually own it yourself. So a little bit more free range.
Very dope. Okay, cool. So is your goal to be like this rental queen of New York, or what is your goal with all the rentals?
My goal is to be the best entrepreneur and rental connoisseur, you say, that I can be, not just in New York, but, however big I can take it, even if it's within the world. I mean, I want to eventually, have different I want to have a rental business also in St. Vincent as well, for tourism, and then other Caribbean islands and other places, which is more than just car rentals and home rentals. I want to do boat rentals as well. So, I think the possibilities are endless. So I'm just trying to think as big, and day by day, I'm not trying to jump the gun or do anything that I'm not physically or financially able to do right now. I'm just building and working and keeping my head down. And yeah, if you know, you know. So.
Where did you get your mentality from?
I got it from really, I would say it's been embedded in me. So we've known each other, we've always been grinding. We since high school and college. For me, like I said, in college, I was working for the labels and stuff like that. I always wanted to prosper. Like it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I thought that you had to be like, after watching Basketball Wives and stuff like that, I thought you had to be married to a basketball player or somebody rich for a woman to be successful. And that was really my mindset until I got my first internship, and then I'm making a name for myself, and I'm really being like my own boss and really creating value in my life and to others. And I was like, wow, like I can be somebody. And it's crazy how social media and TV really programmed me back then to think I had to do it any other way. But it's really, I just honed in on who I was and the power that was in me, and just continued to fuel that fire. So it's been there for, I want to say, since probably junior year of high school. So came to that realization.
Very dope. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So now, what's next for you? What are you working towards? You say, so you guys hinted that you have a rental situation in St. Vincent's. How did that come about, and how are you navigating that play?
Yes. So my partner Tyrell, his family has homes in St. Vincent, and they've been constantly working on the property, just getting ready for the next stage of what they want to do with it. And Airbnb has been like major topic of discussion. So from Tyrell's end of the stick, he's been really spearheading and leading the rentals in St. Vincent. He's been really just like we're just getting ready to go there next month as well, to list the properties and get the photos and set up everything that needs to be set up. But Tyrell and I were both from St. Vincent, and so him actually having family that lives there and stuff like that has been basically like my introduction to a different part of St. Vincent that I wasn't exposed to. But that's how the St. Vincent properties came about.
And we just did the podcast with Tyrell, and he really attributes a lot of his growth and development when it comes to business to you. Where did your business mind come from?
One, I will say I love him for that. I appreciate, him always, bigging me up. We work together every day, so we're constantly learning from each other. I've learned so much from him as well. So it's really just a whole bunch of just growth going on. But for my business mindset, honestly, it grew over time. I just continue to see people to succeed, on social media and stuff like that. And I didn't want to get too caught up in like the glitz and glam of things. So I really just honed in on, what's the longevity, sustainability and stuff like that. And I just kind of embedded it in my brain of like, okay, we just need to work brick by brick, and eventually we'll start to see the fruits of our labor. But really, I would just say experience and just exposure to other successful people, especially since my background, with working with the labels and stuff like that and seeing successful people, it was only a matter of time before I figured out what my lane was going to be.
What was the changing point for you? Like, what was like the turning point in your life that made you want to become like this super entrepreneurial person?
Yeah, it was putting a lot of faith in other people, which was the turning point. Even when it came to 9-to-5 jobs, I've gotten laid off of jobs, I've gotten fired. And even when I was working as an artist on a label that I created with my friends, and then my friends signed me, and then they, as my own friends, like they dropped me, and it was just a really bad like ending with that. So I was always in a position where I was either leaning on a company or somebody else, or just putting a trust in a lot of other people and wasn't putting that much trust in myself. And I kind of just wanted to, make a change. And so with the entrepreneurial journey I'm on now, it's still a learning process. We're still trying to figure out the health benefits and stuff like that. Good thing I have some stuff right now, but over time, these are things that I need to figure out. But I really prefer this over anything that I've done before, and I've been able to make a substantial amount of income compared to any job or any other thing that I've done in the past with what I've been able to do in the last 2 years. So I can honestly say, staying on this journey, there's a strong trajectory that I'm seeing as I'm growing and stuff like that. And my goal is to just to keep building. So.
How did you learn all the things that you're learning? Did you go through like YouTube University? Are you reading books, or like how do you go about getting the knowledge so that you could apply it to what you're doing?
Yes, when it comes to Airbnb, I've been on the cleaning side of cleaning Airbnbs. So I was, just helping my parents, and back then they would print out calendars and stuff like that. We're marking paper calendars. They weren't very digital or savvy of that nature. So I was learning more on the Airbnb side just by watching and learning. But then as I progressed and got older, I started watching more YouTube videos, seeing how people are scaling, how people are managing and doing property management, stuff like that. And so I became a YouTube student. I was YouTube University all the way. And then with Turo in particular, I had to first start out as a customer. So my first Turo car that I rented, I was able to see how the process, the check-in, and I became more curious. So I started to look at it more on YouTube as well. And then big shout out to Dave West Coast, who's based in Las Vegas, but he's one of the Turo like gurus, Mr. OPC, who I really just am inspired by. So he's built his fleet. I think he has 60 cars, and it's all from other people's cars, and bringing in over 2 million, etc. So yeah,
2 million in revenue or 2 million in profit?
2 million in revenue. 2 million in revenue. Yes. So those numbers could be more than what I'm saying right now, but I really just hone in on certain people and just like see what they're doing and just learn. I'm just a student, so yeah, that's pretty much.
Let's talk relationships. So you said back in the day you thought that the way to find, success is to be with somebody who's successful.
Yeah.
That's a basketball player.
Yeah.
Is it ironic that you're with a basketball player today?
You know what? It's like a basketball player in a different way, though, And I think I prefer it this way, honestly. But it is ironic that Tyrell is still, a former basketball player from college, but also still very involved with basketball with the New York Liberty and stuff like that and working with the ladies there. But yeah, I think God gave me what I was probably manifesting back then, but in a different form and in a form that fits me and suits me better today. Because not only am I able to build with Tyrell, he's still able to do his passion with basketball and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy how that kind of worked out.
And I've known you for a good amount of years now.
Yeah.
I met you when you came to Buffalo that one time. And
yes.
Yeah, we've always been grinding like you stated. But you are a very strong woman.
Thank you.
And you need a very strong man at your side to maintain a strong woman. How did you realize, what's the best way to put it? How have you had to learn, how have you have to become, who did you have to become to be able to be the woman you need to be for the man that you attracted?
I would say, past experiences from other people that I wasn't meant to be with. And I've learned from those situations. I've learned my likes, my dislikes, what I was looking for in another person. And Tyrell really checked off all of those boxes. And I feel like from my past relationships and stuff like that, I was able to grow and know how to navigate in certain situations. Granted, I'm not perfect and neither is he. So we've been able to really grow together through communication and just on a whole nother level. There's people that are in relationships that, people have their own separate job and lives and they come back home. But Tyrell and I, we've really been able to grow together because we spend a lot of our time together and we're building together. Literally, I think it just meshes very well. But I had to really seek what he's what he loves and his love languages and things of that nature and see how I, kind of adapt to those and be okay, this isn't just about me. I also have to cater to my partner as well. So I've been able to really kind of grow through the growth of us being together and learning from past experiences. So that's pretty much how we're able to get here.
Are you happy?
Yes, I am happy.
You look happy.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I know sometimes I have a straight face, but don't mind me. I'm fine. I'm sorry.
You're just tired.
Yes.
You be grinding.
Yeah. He knows. I had to sleep today from 10 to 3. Because I was up at 3 a.m. deliveries, taking trains back. But yeah, after I reach a certain amount of cars, I'm not doing deliveries anymore. Yeah. So
you got to hire out, or how you plan on navigating that process of business?
Sorry, not to pivot back to zero. I know we talk about the relationships, but I will just cut it off completely. And I've learned that through Dave West Coast. That's his @name. He doesn't do deliveries at all either with the 60 cars that he has. Everything is you go get the car and pick it up. And I'm probably going to implement that as well. Because it's good for if you just want that extra, those extra dollars and change in your pocket and stuff like that. But after you reach a certain amount of cars, that's just taking more time off of my plate. And it's just taking a lot more time off my plate. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We'll see. We'll see if I hire somebody to actually do deliveries and I still take a percentage, but we'll see. Yeah.
So you said that you want to be you want to do rental everything. So what is the next rental thing that you would do next? Boats, jet skis?
So yes, the one thing I was looking into I always run my ideas by Tyrell. So Tyrell always, he's like, he gives me an idea. We figure out how to bring it to life. I bring him an idea. We figure out how to bring it to life. But with boats in particular, I want to do like catamaran day trips in St. Vincent. So people can, from the mainland to Beckway and any other islands that's near, because we have St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so there's a whole bunch of islands. For Tyrell's birthday last year, I took him to Curacao, and we did a boat trip from Curacao to like one of the offset islands, and like it's a barbecue on the boat and stuff like that. It was a great experience, and they don't have anything like that in St. Vincent. So we're seeing it's an emerging market. They just brought the Sandals Resort there, which opened this year. So there's a lot of room for growth. A lot of I did a class in Harvard called Entrepreneurship and Emerging Economies, like during COVID. So just fast forward to today, I'm like, okay, I can actually utilize some of the stuff that I've learned. And I think it'll be great for us to continue to grow in the country that we're from. And like Tyrell said on the podcast before, he's securing a property in St. Lucia as well, which is right next to St. Vincent. So there's a lot of growth for other kind of rental ideas that we can do in the Caribbean.
St. Lucia will be crazy because their carnival might be like top 5 right now. I haven't been out to the carnival scene in a while. I kind of gave my life to Christ and I stopped walking. Out in these streets. But what I will say is I'll get back into the carnival vibes real soon. But St. Lucia, I heard is fire.
Yes.
I heard is fire.
Yeah.
So that would be a really great opportunity. And it's interesting, like we don't really speak about it too much, but like investing in the Caribbean is a really good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamaica's kind of going through it now where there's a lot of people investing in Jamaica, but it may not be,
Black people?
Yeah, black people, thank you.
Shout out to the Asian man. Shout out to the Asian man. He runs Jamaica. Asian man run Jamaica. And Africa too. I can't even do that to Jamaica only. Yeah,
so there's a lot of people that's investing in the Caribbean that's not people of color, that's not black people, and people are reaping the benefits and the rewards of what our beautiful islands bring and what they produce. So I think maybe another mission further down the line can be how to get more black entrepreneurs and black families and people to invest in the Caribbean. There's a whole movement going on of getting black entrepreneurs and families to invest in Dubai. So just kind of like spreading the knowledge, but we have to go through it first and experience it and so we can actually, state from experience. So we'll see how that goes.
That's fire. Okay, cool. Another question I do have is, how do you maintain a balanced relationship being that you guys work together and are always together? Like do you have to sometimes leave so you guys could miss each other, or is it one of those things that y'all just enjoy each other's company all the
time? For me personally, I really like being with Tyrell. I really like being around him. I never really have to be like, oh, I need to leave. I think he's the one that's more so maybe like, I need guys, I have guys night, stuff like that. That's really I'm also more of a no, it's true. I'm like an introvert extrovert, so I don't mind kind of being in a bubble shell, and Tyrell shows me to try to get out of that and be more out there and stuff like that. And so Tyrell is a very extroverted person and stuff like that, and he has a great friend group from church and from just school and just all walks of life and stuff like that. So he also makes it a priority to make sure he's with his friends and stuff like that. So, but other than that, I think the balance is really communication. Yeah, we are working together every day, really just having to, have certain boundaries in place as far as conversation. Sometimes it's if it's 10 o'clock and we're talking about something, it's okay, this don't have to be talked about till Thursday. We're good. Okay, we'll come back to it, and just kind of, keeping certain boundaries with the work-life balance and relationship balance.
Are you in love?
Yes, I am in love. Yes.
Are y'all going to get married?
I hope so. I mean, I'm praying on it, God willing. So, yeah.
My bro said yes already. She has a whole wedding plan.
I do have the whole wedding plan.
Wait, first of all, how much does the wedding cost?
Well, we want to be. I don't want to.
We or you? Once y'all get married, it's all we. So we wanna go ahead.
Yes. It doesn't have to be something super extravagant or super expensive because I'm like I said, we need to like keep investing and building and stuff like that. But his family has like a big property in St. Vincent, and my goal is to have like the wedding on the land there, and that's one of my thoughts. But so basically like a destination wedding, but we'll see.
Destination, but it's affordable. It's affordable. I like what I'm hearing. We could get a tent. We could just pitch tents on the ground. We don't even got to get no hotel.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, because the house is like 8 bedrooms. 8 bedrooms, 8 baths, or something like that. 8 bedrooms, 6 baths. It's a big house.
Shout out to your parents, bro. That's fire. That's fire.
But the Sandals Resort is right next door to us, so it's literally like 5-minute walk. So the family we're gonna set up something with Sandals so they can have like a discount if we're having like a lot of people come in and stuff like that. So I have it planned out.
What else is going on in the wedding?
What else is going on? So live bands, full live bands, and I want like full live bands. What was some of the other things that I was mentioning?
He said it ain't sounding so cheap right now.
Yeah, it will be a 3-day
like 3-day weekend.
Yes.
Ooh,
because then we're doing the yacht trip with the family. So we're going onto the boat to Beckway. And it'll be a nice trip. Like I told you, the boat rental. So we want to test the waters, get the family on the boat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see.
And you said that for Tyrell said that his family loves you.
Yes, I love them too.
And your family loves him as well?
Yes, they sure do.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. How would you have navigated this relationship? Do you think you could have been in a relationship if the families didn't like each other?
Now I think it would have been a little bit hard. It would have been a little hard. Yeah, the past relationships that I've had with my family didn't like the other person, and it didn't work out. So it probably wouldn't have worked out. So I make sure to make his family a priority. With communicating with his family, just showing that, I'm genuinely love them, and, always checking in on people as we should check on our friends and stuff like that. I think it's important that the family is all on one accord. We want to have a happy, union. So,
any advice for someone like me who's in the house all day and not in these streets no more? How do I find my person?
That is... I don't. Tyrell came to me blindsidedly. So I feel like really just being who you are, putting yourself out there. I think if you're not in a position to meet somebody, from work or something like that, maybe putting yourself more into like different kind of dating pools or maybe apps. I don't do apps. But
no BLK, no Hinge,
no
Bumble.
I never did
Shout
that.
out to Tinder.
I did. You know what? I told you I did Bumble BFF. So I was on Bumble for finding friendships with other people.
Girl, ain't no way BFF don't know Bumble. Girl,
but you're able to like vet people and see and talk and stuff like that. But I stopped that. But yeah, I would say just really put yourself out there. Test the waters. I don't know.
I'll be like, girlfriend, you're my wife. You're my wife. Nah, but that's fire. That's real fire. You guys also travel a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
My favorite place that we traveled to, for me, really, I would say Curacao. We did go to Bali for my birthday, and Bali was beautiful. Like I loved it there. So I don't want to discredit Bali, but for Curacao, I just feel like I had so much fun in Curacao. I just loved the weather. It was so hot. The water was beautiful. Like we had so many different like excursions planned. I just love that trip. That's me personally. But yeah, I really enjoyed Curacao. So that was my favorite place.
And where's Curacao for those people who don't travel like that?
Curacao, I think it's like, where is it? I think it's like somewhere near Mexico. I don't know. Yeah, it is a Caribbean island. But I thought, no, it's not next to Mexico. Do not quote me. Oh my gosh. Aruba. It's next to Aruba.
How'd y'all find it?
I was looking at places to, like, I was planning Tyrell's birthday party. It was a surprise. He didn't know we were going. I was and I was looking up places to go. I never been, like, I didn't hear much about Curacao, and I was like, oh, this place is cool. I didn't see too many people. Now I see a whole bunch of people going there all of a sudden. But I was just looking at the best places to go, or like good places, and also like affordable places at the time too. And I just was able to build out a whole itinerary for a full week in Curacao, and really enjoyed it, from our stay to the food to the excursions, the water. We were jumping off every cliff that we could think of. It was
Shout
fun.
out to y'all who can swim. If you can swim, you can do that.
Oh yes. I taught Tyrell how to swim. Like, we were working together. So Tyrell had no choice but to do all of the water excursions that I planned for us during that trip. And when we got to Curacao, we started off by jumping off the dock, a small dock and stuff like that. And Tyrell was like, getting his footing, doing, he was like, okay, I got this. And we were just like making sure that he can, just do the basics of like little kick and float and get back to shore. And he was doing amazing. And he was like, picked it up so quick. Like, thing about Tyrell is he picks things up super quick, and I just knew he would learn how to swim. I just knew. It's just some things about him I just like know he's gonna just get it. If I need help with anything, I just know he's gonna know the answer, or he's gonna know how to fix it, or he's gonna do it. So when it came to swimming, it was just like I've never met somebody that could learn how to swim like in a day. Like I have no idea, but he was ready for whatever I had planned, so it was cool.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. Tyrell, you want to say something, man? I know this is her podcast, but you feel like you have a lot to say.
I was like, I really learned how to swim in a day. I'm thinking like, because when I tell you, I found out that we only had water activities.
Yeah, it was only water activities
on the plane there. Like, I'm like, so what are we gonna do here? She said, we're gonna swim in the ocean to this cave.
Yeah, we went swimming.
We're gonna go cliff jumping. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to swim.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And sea bobbing. Sea bobbing, you go in the deep blue ocean. Like, the shore is normally like nice light blue, and then like the deep ocean is like deep dark blue. We were sea bobbing in the deep dark ocean. For
those who don't know sea bobbing, I actually like that. That would be a good rental thing as well. Sea bobbing, like people who jet ski, like you're on the jet ski and you're, revving it and moving. Sea bobbing, like your body's in the water and you're just holding onto something that's dragging you through the water, and you're able to like swim with dolphins and go underwater with the thing. Like it's like you're swimming, but something's like propelling you. So I thought it was such a cool experience. So we're in the middle of the deep blue sea. Our body's just floating. We're on this little like handheld jet ski thing that's pulling us through. Yeah. It was so cool. And we were like going underneath the water, coming up top, and like, yeah, it was so cool.
Mind you, the day before I didn't know how to swim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we did that. We did the swimming in the ocean to the cave and the cliff jump all the second day of the trip. I don't know. I mean, like, she just put me in a position where I was like, I gotta figure this out, or else I may not even go back to America. So yeah, but once I learned, like, I got it real fast, and I always say I would have never learned if she didn't put me in the situation to learn. That's really how life is sometimes, even with what we do. Like, a lot of things we've learned because we've kind of forced ourselves in the situation to learn. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy for y'all, man. This love that y'all got is rubbing off on me. Ladies, if you single and you want to go sea bobbing, DM me. We outside. I can't swim, so if I go underwater, you got to come save me. If you can't swim, I can't swim, then it ain't going to work. Nah, that's beautiful. All right, well, I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share? Any advice to single ladies out there that's looking for their one?
To the single ladies, I would definitely say, stay true to yourself, have your own thing going. I know everybody's in this epidemic in this era of he need to buy me a bag, he need this and that, but come to the table and be able to buy yourself your own bag.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? Just be able to bring something to the table. And I feel like when a guy sees that worth, he's gonna know if he even has the time, or sees the level that you're on. But definitely put yourself first, invest in yourself, and you know, with what you're investing in yourself, and you'll attract the person that's meant for you, and be in those rooms, because, you know, you'll just be able to be on that frequency. And yeah, I would just say continue to evolve, and yeah, I guess that's where I'll leave that. Yeah.
I love it. All right, cool. If people want to follow you, connect with you, where can they go and do so?
Yes, you can follow me on all platforms at Briana Mulzac, BrianaMulzac, and you can find me on all those platforms.
Okay, cool. Well, y'all tuned in to Talk Ain't Cheap with a little 51st Date, Immaculate Love Show. Make sure y'all follow that. And yeah, you tuned in to Talk Ain't Cheap. It's not that deep. It's a vibe.
Hey.